Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the May 2nd regular meeting and swearing-in ceremony of the Zion City Council. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher.
Here.
Commissioner McDowell.
Here.
Commissioner Holmes. Here. Commissioner Fryerson.
Here.
Mayor McKinney.
Here. Item number 3, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Bremner, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bremner. Leading us in prayer this evening will be Gary Garland from Love, Inc.
Start with Scripture, 1 Timothy chapter 2. First of all, then I urge the supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving to be made for everyone, for kings and all who are in high positions, so that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and dignity. This is right and is acceptable in the sight of God, our Savior, who desires everyone to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. Let's pray. Father, we bow before you, not just our bodies in prayer, but our hearts and our souls to you. Our prayers are a sign of dependence upon you, Lord. Through that dependence, we are filled with hope. Hope because you told us that when we pray according to your will in our lives, you will not only hear our prayers, but you will respond and give us all that we need. And so we come, seeking your will for this city, for these leaders, and for all the people of Zion. We thank you, Father, for the willingness of our mayor and our commissioners to share the gifts which you have given them for the good of your people. And I ask for your blessing and peace to be upon them and their families. And I ask that you provide them with wisdom and discernment, so that in this city we indeed may live peaceable and quiet lives in all godliness and dignity. And we ask all these things in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Item number 4, are there any agenda changes by any of the commissioners? If not, is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Frierson, second by Holmes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher.
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell.
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes.
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson.
Aye.
Mayor McKinney.
Aye. Message. Item number 5 is citizens' comments. Why are you looking at me strange like that? Don't eyeball me like that, Cheryl. Just messing with you. Motion carries, I was going to say. Then Cheryl starts staring at me, so I'm in my paranoid mood tonight, all right? Citizens' comments, Mary Lou Hildebrand.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. During the month of April, your ESDA volunteers gave over 90 hours of service for a value to the city of $2,703. We performed a monthly siren test and assisted the fire department at a house fire. We assisted the Park District with the annual Easter egg hunt. This returned to the past method where the kids got to go find the eggs. It was an event enjoyed by all. We did set up and assisted the Amadai community and Northern Illinois Food Bank with the monthly food pantry. This was a larger event than usual because of the end of the COVID subsidy. Many people are needing some assistance at this time. We responded to numerous alarm calls at the ESDA Center, and I'm happy to say that the alarm problem seems to be corrected. We had the annual fire extinguisher inspection and did duty times for upkeep and cleaning of equipment and the center. If you would like to help our city by volunteering, go to the city website and fill out an application. Thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Mary Lou, and the ESDA crew for all that you do for us.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor.
Muriel Adams.
I celebrated my first anniversary as a Lake County resident just recently. And I've been asking myself, what can I do for my community? I recently formed an organization named One World Shared Future Institute, and I'm looking for communities that I can help become more resilient and sustainable. I have a PhD in sustainability, and sustainability focuses on three major issues: environment, economy, and social justice issues. A main theme is everything is connected. Communities are connected. If one is not sustainable, none are sustainable. My focus was on my work, my focus on my work in my PhD was on barriers to sustainability in marginalized communities, which are often called frontline communities because they're the first hit by major problems and they're the first to feel the effects of major environmental issues and other issues. Often these communities have high rates of people cycling in and out of the community due to incarceration and children in foster care. With individuals coming in and out of frontline communities, families and community relationships and networks are broken, and economic despair, poor health, and crime are byproducts of this situation. One World Shared Future Institute is inclusive and involves community members to participate, including formerly incarcerated individuals, family members of formerly incarcerated individuals, members of community organizations, and business owners. One World Shared Future uses restorative justice talking circles to build family and community relationships and addresses issues important to the community, like planning for major environmental problems, like tornadoes. It promotes individuals better understanding their neighbors and healing relationships. Often people are stressed and feel that they are the only ones going through something. The processes used by One World Shared Future Institute highlights the similarities of situations and community members learn how to best help each other, therefore helping their community. Lastly, frontline communities usually are left out of decision-making processes and decisions regarding their communities. In this world today, I believe all hands are needed on deck. And if anybody would like to call me, my number is 773-245-0520 to talk more about my organization.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Lake County. Thank you.
I hope I say this name right, Jessica Ivanov. I see that you are new here to the City Council, and so that you know, welcome, number one, and that we have a 3-minute limit with our citizens' comments.
I am sorry, I probably signed up incorrectly. I'm sorry. This is my first time being part of the City Hall meeting.
Okay.
I'm representing for the Zinnia Monarch Mania Festival.
Okay.
So I was told to come here in case there were any questions about the grant.
Okay, we're going to address that later in the City Council, but welcome, and we're very familiar with the Zinnias. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. No? Okay. All right.
Elite Striders.
No, I'm not coming up there, okay. All right. Item number 6, so I understand the fear of speaking. People in polls would rather die than to speak publicly, so understand. Item number 6 is the consent agenda.
Approval of minutes of a regular meeting held April 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m.
Is there a motion for the approval of the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Motion by McDowell, second by Frierson. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Abstain, given that I wasn't here, but I can approve them too. Proceed.
Bills, vouchers 143097 through 143195, drawn on Huntington National Bank, total $632,627.68.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second. Motion by Fisher, second by Frierson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Almost.
McDowell?
Second by McDowell.
I think she heard it correctly.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. This is my bad here, Mike. Yeah. All right,
I'll talk into the mic.
thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries. Item number 7, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Send die. And I'll let our attorney explain that one.
Sin die is a fancy Latin word for without the day, and it means that we're going to come back here later, essentially, in this body in a different permutation. Thank you.
Permutation.
We don't pay you by the word.
All right. 5 seconds for a sidebar.
You have to call the roll.
Okay, so this is a swearing in. Oh, let's call the roll for the adjournment, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries. Excuse me, I'm still jet lagged. I was in Ottawa, Canada for the last couple of days visiting with members of Parliament there, talking about some issues, and I think I might have left my brain in the hotel room. All right. Okay, now we're going to the special presentation with the administration of oaths of office. And we have Judge Bridges. Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
So do we do the commissioners? Either way. All right. We're going to swear in our commissioners first. This is all new. So this is the first time I've been re-elected as a mayor. So how have we done this in the past? Who gets sworn in first? Is it the commissioners or the mayor?
It's usually the commissioners first.
Just as I thought.
Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah. But as they say, a clock is right twice a day. So we're going to have the swearing in of our Commissioner Mike McDowell. Congratulations.
Sure. Somebody has to hold this Bible. Have you ever held one before?
I brought
Oh, you brought yours. See, I didn't need mine. I should have known you would have it ready. You'll use mine. Okay. All right. Well, they want to see you, so you guys stand here. That way they can. They don't want to see me. All right. Are we ready? I will.
I, Michael McDowell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and uphold the Constitution
and uphold the Constitution
of
of
the United States,
the United States,
and that I will also uphold and support the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will also uphold the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
that I will enforce the laws for the city of Zion,
that will enforce the laws for the city of Zion,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Commissioner for the Zion,
and I I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Commissioner in the city of Zion
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you.
No speech?
No.
Just checking. I know the mayor's gonna want to speak.
So I understand that a judicial official has to preside, but I have also invited Madam Pam Idleworth to swear.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Raise your right hand. Hold the Bible.
You want me to hold the Bible?
Thank you, Your Honor.
I, Jacqueline Holmes,
I, Jacqueline Holmes,
having been elected to the office
having been elected to the office
of Commissioner in the City of Zion,
of Commissioner in the city of Zion,
and the office of Trustee in the Township of Zion,
in the office of trustee in the township of Zion,
in the County of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
that I will enforce the laws of the City of Zion,
that I will enforce the laws of the city of Zion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Speech.
Thank you all for who voted for me.
You can get that here, I'll text
No, I know you touched it as well, Your Honor. You're right. Okay. Swear with me. I, Billy McKinney,
I, Billy McKinney,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will enforce the laws of the City of Zion,
and that I will enforce the laws of the City of Zion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Mayor for the City of Zion
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the mayor of the City of Zion
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Speech.
Billy, you want to have, or you guys stand up here?
Want to do a picture? Give me like.
Can't get enough of it.
Perfect.
A rose in the middle of two couples.
Right there. One more right there.
Thank you. Should we put mayor in the middle of it, or is it like that? If you think that's good. That's good?
He's the leader.
That was a song, leader of. Thank you so much. All right.
All right, I will reserve my comments for later in the section of departmental commentary, but thank all of you for coming tonight, and thank all of you that are here that have voted for me, and those that might be watching, thank you for your faith in re-electing me as the mayor of the city of Zion. It's a great privilege and an honor to be the mayor of a place that I've grown up in, that I absolutely love, and know that with the commissioners, we've made a tremendous amount of progress over the last 4 years, and we will continue to work as hard as we possibly can to make the city of Zion the place that we all want it to be. So thank you for your attendance this evening. Madam Clerk, we are calling this meeting to order of May 2nd. And would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Fisher?
Here.
Commissioner McDowell?
Here?
Commissioner Holmes? Here. Commissioner Fryerson?
Here.
Mayor McKinney?
Here. Pledge of Allegiance twice.
Yes.
Mr. Brimmer, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance once again?
Next time.
It sounded so nice, we've got to do it twice.
Mayor Flannery, please join me again in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank the mayor of Kingston.
You're welcome. Gary Garland, would you like to add an additional prayer for us this evening?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we just thank you again for your presence here. We just ask for your blessing upon all the citizens of Zion. We ask tonight especially for the leaders in this room, that they have your wisdom, your discernment to do the will that you have for them, Lord. We ask all these things in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Item number 4, agenda changes. Do any of our commissioners have any agenda changes? If not, is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by McDowell and second by Holmes. Second time around is always the better. That's Shalimar, 1980. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries. Item number 5, any additional citizen comments for the evening? Going once, going twice? It's sold. Item number 6, consider passing ordinance as follows. 6A, authorizing an intergovernment mutual aid agreement regarding the transportation of detainees by Wisconsin law enforcement agencies from Wisconsin to the Lake Behavioral Hospital in Illinois per Chief Barton.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations on your election, as well as commissioners. Pursuant to the Illinois Intergovernmental Cooperation Act, which is 5 ILCS 220/1, I respectfully request approval of the attached intergovernmental mutual aid agreement regarding the transportation of detainees by Wisconsin law enforcement agencies from Wisconsin to the Lake Behavioral Hospital in Illinois. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have.
Do we have a motion first?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Fryerson,
Second.
second by Fisher. Questions or comments?
Yes, sir. Do you have any background context on what stemmed?
So I don't have a background on like a specific incident that may have triggered this agreement or this issuance of the agreement. We don't indemnify out-of-state agencies. We can't do that. They act under the authority of their constitution. In the event that they have to transport someone from Wisconsin to a facility that we have here in Illinois, and they have a problem along the way, this is just an agreement to signaling to them that we'll help them if they need to, and we will support their law enforcement authority. Basically, it's kind of in a way of deputizing someone so if they had to use some kind of restraint or something like that, they're not acting in a criminal manner because they are not indemnified in the state of Illinois. That will come to their aid, support them, and then help them along the way to where they got to go. That's basically it.
My question was, is this the first of its kind of agreement?
It is. Yep.
Okay, and has this stemmed a little bit from the conversations that we've had with state law enforcement officials right across the border from us and trying to gain cooperation?
Yes, sir, I believe so. We've been working a lot closer with local communities, Pleasant Prairie, Kenosha, Racine, and I think that's probably what this is, where we're offering and identifying services that we have here available to us in Illinois that they may not have as readily available to them.
All right. Any more questions or comments?
No, and once you cross state lines as well, right, legally, you probably are, have to come to some certain source, kind of agreement anyway.
Yes, yes.
Correct. We can't transport, law enforcement cannot transport a detainee across state lines. It becomes an issue for jurisdiction. So that's what this covers, is they're not, if in the event they had to take some kind of legal action, this will cover them and we'll come to help them to do that.
Thank you.
It's much like one of the things that we're getting into now is it's springtime, fireworks season. You know, fireworks are illegal in the state of Illinois, and yet people transport them from the state of Illinois, from Wisconsin to the state of Illinois, which is illegal. And I was reminded, not that I have this issue, as I was leaving Canada today, they said if you have any cannabis, don't try to take it across the borders. I wasn't concerned about it, but I did take a picture of the sign as a reminder. So we have can we call the roll? We had a first and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item 6B, authorizing a memorandum of agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150 Building Employees, and the City of Zion per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. We have, I believe, 6 bargaining unions within the city. This item and the following this one is specifically as it relates to the Local 150 Building Unit. Negotiations went favorably with that bargaining unit, and you have the approval of the extension of the existing collective bargaining agreement before you, and I recommend approval.
All right, is there a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Fisher,
Second.
second by McDowell. Are there any questions or comments? All right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 6C, authorizing a memorandum of agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150 clerical employees, and the City of Zion per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you again, Mayor and Commissioners. I will just say ditto on this. This is our Local 150 clerical union, and I recommend approval of the agreement as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Holmes,
Second.
second by Commissioner McDowell. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7, discussion, authorization, and approval. 7A, request approval of 2023-2024 project year hotel motel tax grant application per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I'll give a summary here. Years ago, we established a hotel motel tax grant program to encourage private entities to hold events in Zion that would encourage tourism in the area. This would result in additional patronage at local businesses, more stays in local hotels, and a general positive experience for those outside of Zion. There are statutory limitations on what the city's hotel motel taxes can be used for, but we restricted those even a little further since funds were being awarded to private entities. As a result, we developed an application and scoring process for those interested in receiving funds to supplement their event's budget. Those funds are restricted to be used solely for marketing and promotional expenses. We have 3 applicants, 2 of which we've already identified here today for public comment if questions arise. But we do have to take each grant application individually. So The first one is actually an application from Zion Township as it relates to the Monarch Mania and Zinnia Festival. They have been an applicant in the past, and they applied for $8,000 of funds as detailed in the attached application. Our scoring of the application supports staff's recommendation to award a grant in the amount not to exceed $8,000. And just in recap, we typically budget about $35,000 as a grant pool in total, and even with all these, we were within that amount. So staff recommends approval of the grant in the amount of $8,000 for Zion Township.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Frierson,
Second?
second by McDowell. Any questions or comments? I know we became a Monarch city, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago, and there's signs everywhere. And of course, we have zinnias everywhere, which is time for planting those. So glad this has been placed into the budget and approved. We called the roll. It was approved, and now do we, what's that?
We need to roll.
We need
We need a roll call for each one.
Okay.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye.
The second applicant we have is the Potawatomi Trails Powwow. Again, they have been an annual applicant for many years now. They apply for $8,000 of funds as well as detailed in the application. Our scoring supports recommendation to award the grant in an amount not to exceed $8,000.
All right, is there a motion to approve the Potawatomi Trails?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Fisher.
Second.
Second by Holmes. Questions or comments? Matt?
Okay, one question. So, as we have folks that come for this every year, how do we handle when their numbers are starting to decline? Does that get reevaluated in the scoring, or?
Not really, because it kind of depends on the event, how they want to handle that. Like, if numbers decline, it might actually warrant an increased amount for additional marketing or different ways of marketing.
Okay.
So we look at how they utilize the marketing after the fact, but we try not to get involved in determining whether an event, a private event, was successful or not based on that.
Got it.
We're just looking at the statutory use of the funds for support.
Got it. Thank you.
Great question, and I was curious too, as probably over the last couple of years since we've all endured the pandemic, if the numbers were down as a result of the pandemic because other events were canceled during that time.
We've seen decreases in that, but it's been consistent kind of across. It's not inconsistent with just events as a whole.
Yeah.
But we are seeing those numbers start to come back again.
Okay.
And I guess, may I, one additional question for that. Have we thought about any ways to check with like local businesses to see how they feel about the results of this grant? So whether it be increased traffic at restaurants during that time, or hotels, or anything like that?
Nothing from a formal standpoint of having them track those weekends. It's just discussions with them. Like in the past, we've had Dungeon and Doom apply. Culver's always says they see significant increased traffic during those weekends. We've talked about it with the hotels in the area, and they do see increases during these events, increased usage. So we kind of see the pattern of businesses having more business during these events. So it does have that additional benefit, or the intended benefit.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0.
The final applicant we have is the Elite Striders Drill Team, with their event coming up very quickly. They have been an annual applicant in the past. They applied for $5,000 to $6,000 of funds as detailed in the application. Again, our scoring supports recommendation in an amount not to exceed $3,475, as those are the marketing and promotional related expenses in their budget.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Frierson.
Second.
Second by Holmes. Questions or comments? My comment was, I was at the event last year and we had people from all over the United States coming in, Kansas City, I believe, Minneapolis. There's some other states that were involved in it. It was very well attended at the high school, and it was great for people to come in and celebrate and see our community and see the positive aspects of the community as well.
Can I say something too?
Absolutely.
So this year, we also is having a parade. It's gonna be that Friday night. It's not super big, but it's big enough to let the neighborhood know what we're doing. So every year I try to make it better and better and better, and just to bring people here and see it. And they're excited. The teams are excited. Everyone's excited about this. Okay, it's really a big thing for me. I have a celebrity host judge, a celebrity host, and then I have this. I'm bringing in someone who the kids know. He's like
Oh, you should. I'm just
a
joking.
YouTube,
I'm just joking.
a YouTube sensation. He's like a real cool guy. So it's like if anybody watched the show, Bring It, it's bring it to Zion. And so that's a fundraiser for the Elite Striders. We're doing a lot of traveling this year. So we definitely need our funds to, I don't know if you want to see the bus prices these days, but they're getting expensive. And so it helps us through our season, our drilling season.
And as we've talked about last year when I was at the event, make sure that they visit all of our local businesses while they're here.
And I have
our
vendors from
restaurant.
the local businesses at our events.
Yeah,
So,
which is great. So thank you for that. All right. Did we call the roll for it again? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7B, consider approval of general budget for fiscal year May 1 through 2023 through April 30th, 2024, per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. You have the general fund budget before you. I will spare you the agony of going through 13 pages line by line, but this is the result of quite a long time, a lot of work from all the department heads, working together and being diligent with the budget and understanding our financial situation and trying to be very responsible with public funds. I will give you some highlights as I've laid out in the memo. Our total revenues are down $562,000 from the prior year, about 2.4%. The biggest reason for that is we did receive 2 installments of ARPA, American Recovery Something Act, but it was basically COVID stimulus money. That was $1.6 million that was part of last year's budget that is not recurring this year. So all things equal, we would have actually expected revenue to drop $1.6 million. It's actually only down $562,000. The reason for some of that offset is we do have a COPS grant where we have 100% of salary and benefits for 5 officers that we receive from the Department of Justice. That 100%, they cover 100% of all those costs for a period of 3 years. So there's $630,000 in revenues this year from that grant. We'll also see that increase in the expenses down below relating to those hires as well. We have an increase in landfill host fees of $377,000, as well as an increase in GEMT ambulance revenues of $400,000. Unfortunately, even though our levy goes up, we have a decrease in property tax revenues of $234,000. Basically, big picture is we can only go up a certain amount in our property taxes, but as pensions and other obligations go up by more than what we can go up in our total, we lose operational money. So more has to go into, as required by pensions, we lose operational money of $234,000 in the general fund. Total expenses are up $1,786,000, about 8%. As I said, those are largely due to $630,000 of an increased salary and benefits for those 5 hires covered by the COPS grant. Additional health insurance increase of $305,000. We approved that renewal at prior meetings. It's out of our hands as far as what the market does, but it's about a 10% increase, I believe, overall. And then we also have some additions of personnel, contractual and market salary adjustments of $830,000. Those are steps that we have in contractual, but we're also trying to restore services and personnel levels that have been basically slashed during our deficit years through attrition, not rehiring to try and get the budget in line and basically survive during those years. The budget also includes a $1.5 million transfer to capital expenditure fund. We made some ground in our aged equipment. However, years of deferred replacements of equipment facilities have ensured that we still have a long way to go on that. That being said, with all the items detailed above, the budget is balanced for a second year in a row, and therefore I recommend the approval of the budget as presented.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
Motion by Fisher,
Second?
second by McDowell. Questions or comments from our commissioners?
Do we have any idea how much the pensions might go up the following year? When do we find out?
I would assume they're still, I would guess probably about $400,000 increase if all things considered. They actually went down in the police this year a little bit.
Okay.
We got the benefit of some good returns that the actuarial calculations took into account just based on timing. They were between police, fire, and IMRF going up by about $400,000 to $500,000 a year. We're hoping to not see those spikes again, but I would anticipate that next year we will have that. And sadly to say that there will probably, when we pass our levy in December, we'll know that information, and that will probably be the first year that we actually do not have any corporate fund levy dollars going into the general fund.
Into the general
It will be
fund.
consumed by the pension funds at that point.
Okay.
And Commissioner Fisher, and I was in Springfield several weeks ago, it seems like months ago now, with my travel schedule was of late, and that was one of the items that was being discussed in Springfield is not only is pension reform throughout the state. There's been some discussion about it. And the other item that was on the agenda there was we talked about the local government distributor fund, which was slashed in half. It's an income tax, and usually we get some of that money back. 10% of it is taken out in Lake County, I believe, in one of the studies that I saw gives the most in income tax, but they slashed it from 10% to 5%. They're trying to increase it now, and some of our legislators are down there fighting for that, and that was the big pitch from all the mayors. There were over 350 mayors in Springfield a couple of weeks ago talking about restoring the local government distributor fund to either 8%, which would mean about $750,000 to $1 million for us, or to restore it fully. So we're still working on those measures.
I would like to point out briefly that in an effort to be conservative, these do not include any anticipated increases in that fund. If it goes through, great. We're not counting on it. This also does not reflect any of our share of the state CEJA funds for the nuclear waste storage compensation. So if those come through, great, but we're not relying on either of those as part of this budget.
All right. We had a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7C, consider approval of non-bargaining unit employee compensation per administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Now with all of our bargaining units done and the budget approved, what we have left is the approval of wage changes for all non-bargaining unit or non-union employees to be effective on May 1st, 2023 as presented. The effects of these changes are what are reflected in the budget that was just approved. So I recommend approval as presented.
All right, is there a motion for the approval of the non-bargaining unit employee compensation?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Fisher.
Second.
Second by Holmes, echoed by McDowell. Questions or comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 8, departmental commentary. Director Ianson.
Thank you, sir. I mentioned this the last couple of meetings, but we're still taking applications for a seasonal lawn crew. We have a position for a supervisor and 2 lawn cutters, so please, urge your applications.
In the age range for that, the applicants have to be ages?
Supervisor 18 or older, and cutters can be young as 16.
All right, so there is work and seasonal work, but great way if you're a young adult to be able to make a little additional dollars and get some experience with the city of Zion. Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. As you had mentioned earlier about being nervous to speak in front of people, I'm a little nervous, so I'll be more than
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Guess that didn't work. I just want to give council a little bit of an update on the TIF-free project that has been going on for the last 3 weeks. That's some upgrades of water mains, sanitary, some road improvements in the TIF-free district, which is down by the new Popeyes that's going in, and Colgate Road, 33rd and 34th Street. So far, the contractor has completed the installation of about 3,500 linear feet of new 8-inch water main. That was replacement of a 1926 water main. All the new services are online, so all the residents and businesses are all on the new line down there. About 600 feet of 30-inch new storm sewer has been installed. We are still waiting for IEPA to approve our sanitary permit, which should be this week. Once that is approved, then we're going to start moving on installing a new sanitary in that same location. Once that is complete, which we're looking at probably by the end of May, they will start all the new road work in that area. So 33rd, going down to the senior home will be finished. Colgate will be a brand new road. We'll install a new road in between Popeyes and 33rd, which will be called Yale Court. That'll be cut through over to Colgate, and then Colgate will be
Great progress. I was down there several weeks ago, and Director Roberts was informing me about all the things that were taking place down there, and it's really setting up nicely for not only the Popeyes. If you haven't driven by it lately, the building is coming along, and I know a lot of our residents are excited about stopping in at Popeyes. But the additional road will also allow for other businesses to be there, which we are in progress talking to other businesses about locating to that area. So it's nice to see that south end of town now getting some new life to it. Thank you, Director Roberts. Any questions for Director Roberts? Oh, I wasn't supposed to answer that. But thank you for all your work and for keeping us all abreast of everything that's going on within the city. Chief Street.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Just one item tonight. Hopefully, we're starting to see some nicer weather. Not necessarily today, but they are calling for some nicer weather here upcoming. And this is kind of the annual reminder that city ordinance prohibits burning of your yard waste. So we want to remind our residents that they're not to burn their yard waste for a few different reasons. It's mainly a safety hazard and health hazard, so they can't burn their yard waste. Doesn't mean they can't have a campfire. We all like a nice campfire. I did print out the ordinance. I think you asked me in years past. Put me on the spot, so I wanted to print it out this time. That your campfire should be no more than 5 feet in diameter and 25 feet from a house or a fence or any other structures on your property. We just ask our residents to be safe as they're having their campfires.
All right. Will we put that information online as well on our respective community pages, so that we try to do that, try to make sure that our residents that don't attend our meetings also know where to find this information. They could always go to our city website, www.cityofzion.com. All right. Thank you, Chief Street. Chief Barton.
Good evening again. As Your Honor stated earlier, Just want to reflect on the fireworks, the illegal fireworks. We don't permit fireworks in the city of Zion. Just recently, we sent off a mailer to about a third of the city, I want to say, in the water bills, with just indicating what the ordinances are. And there's a QR code on noise ordinance and firework ordinance on that. It's also posted on our Facebook page. This year and the last 2 years, we've been tracking and issuing warnings and then citations to follow. This year, we're going to implement no warnings, and it's going to be citations issued. So we figure 2 years is ample warning. So this year going forward, it's going to be citations issued on first incident.
And for residents here, if there's someone in your neighborhood that, if they're setting off commercial grade fireworks in the city, just call our non-emergency line, and you can just report the address, and the police will respond to it. I found out that it's very difficult sometimes to have civil discourse and great conversation with your residents when you're reminding them of some of the safety ordinances within the city. So unless you have a great relationship with your neighbor, feel free to call our non-emergency line and not the emergency line. Would that be correct, Chief?
Yes, sir. And just to add, we will be putting individuals on hireback to enforce these on our peak times. We'll have teams of officers that are going out there just simply for fireworks violations, so it's not to take away from our regular calls that we are required to handle. We will be, on those big dates, we will be present for that.
And are we not also, we had some discussion earlier about putting out signs throughout the city of Zion, strategically placed?
We're probably going to stick with just the flyers at this point. Cost effective to do the flyers versus the signs is, we'll start there, and if people don't get the message, we'll ramp up, I guess.
Okay, all right. Any other questions or comments for Chief? All right, our Director of Finance, Chris Conway.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. Just wanted to let you know it is May 2nd. If you haven't gotten a vehicle sticker, it has expired. You need to get a vehicle sticker. We're still selling them for the $50. It's good for 2 years. If you are given a ticket for not having a valid sticker, not only will you have the ticket cost, you will also be paying a $15 penalty on top of the $50 for the sticker. So it's best to get in before you get caught without one.
Has everyone here scraped their old stickers off and put them on? I need to do that.
Mayor, I spent time today in the cold weather scraping off my old sticker and putting on my new sticker.
That means I'm going to have
so
to...
my wife wouldn't get stopped and have a ticket.
Well, it looks like I'll be walking or biking to work this week until I get that taken care of.
Yeah.
You have your...
I know where to start.
Who gets to the back first?
All right. Administrator Nabel.
2 quick things. One, I talked about the siege of the nuclear funding that we're looking forward to. Just a brief update. I got a report last week from the state saying that it is the notice of funding opportunity as it relates to our portion of the CEJA Act had made final changes, and it's in the director's office for signature, and they're looking to have that out this week. So I just had a talk with them today about that. So we should be learning quickly how we have to use the funds, what restrictions there are, how to apply all that stuff, so we can get the process moving. They said the application deadline for that is June 30th. So the quicker we get it, the quicker we can get it out to all the taxing bodies and apply for those funds. Secondly, at the last meeting, we did approve the new waste hauling contract with Waste Management. Please stay tuned, keep an ear open. We're working on communication pieces for what changes in that contract and how that's going to impact our residences, or whether you're going to be impacted based on your current pickup schedules. So those will be going out probably in a separate postcard that will be mailed to each individual residence. We're going to put it in the Zion Quarterly. We may use a non-emergency blackboard notification and also water bills going forward, so everyone knows how to properly put out their garbage, and with the recycling changes going to every other week, how they'll be impacted with that. Those changes will not happen until September 4th or 5th. You want to make sure we have ample time to notify the public, but that only works if you're paying attention and actually see it. So that'll be coming out in the coming months.
All right. Thank you.
I had one question to follow up on that. So we mentioned last time for residents that were eligible for an exemption. What number is it that they're calling? Are they calling Waste Management or are they calling the city?
As for like disabled the backdoor service,
Yeah.
they would be contacting Waste Management for that.
Got it. Okay.
But if they want to call here, we can handle that call and direct them there as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Whatever's easiest.
And that number will be placed on our website and our Facebook
Yes,
pages.
we're in the process of, now that we have the changes to the contract, making sure we have all the language updated for the website, and we'll get that posted as soon as we work out all the logistics with Waste Management.
All right. Thank you, Administrator Nabel.
Yeah, I just have
Commissioner
a
McDowell?
couple things. First of all, I'd just like to thank the residents of our fine city that voted and gave me the opportunity to serve another 4 years. I appreciate serving on this council, appreciate every member of this council, and the fine work that we have been doing in making Zion a place that people want to live. And so it's an honor to serve. Secondly, I had a conversation this morning with Muriel Adams, and she presented her program for helping not just people that have been released from incarceration, but families of incarcerated people, and then kind of a new twist to it involving communities, the community and businesses, and understanding the enculturation process that takes place when an incarcerated individual returns back home. And I really resonated with her approach. And I said, you know, this is a perfect opportunity. She just moved to Lake County, like she said, to get to know some people in the city. She is interested in working here in Zion. And I said, just so happens that Gary Garland, the director of Love Inc., is going to be here, so you can make a connection. And I saw Chief Barton already gave you a card, so I hope it was worth coming tonight.
I guess first I want to say congratulations to everyone that was reelected on your position. So it is a pleasure serving with you all as well, and looking forward to at least 2 more years. Also got a chance to attend the ribbon cutting for the mural at It's All Good, so if you haven't had a chance to check that out, go on over and have a cup of coffee or a muffin. And then also check out Floors to You as well. And then to Ms. Adams, I wanted to say welcome. We're actually conducting listening sessions next week at New Tech High School related to a research grant that we have connected with Healthcare Foundation of Northern Lake County. So if you're interested, I would love to get in contact with you and discuss more about your approach. I think we have some intersections there. So.
Yeah, Commissioner Frierson also is our president of the Coalition of Healthy Communities. And we reach out to a lot of individuals and organizations to try to help our residents as along with events throughout the city. So thank you for those comments, Commissioner. Commissioner Holmes.
I, again, want to say thank you, not for only for people who voted for me, but thank you for exercising your right to vote. It has been truly an honor to have been elected and to be reelected. I was born and raised in Zion, and I'm truly honored to be serving, and I'm still learning in this role. And it's a pleasure to serve with this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Holmes. Commissioner Fisher.
Well, first of all, like everyone has said, congratulations on being reelected, all 3 of you. I think we all work very well together, and we're together for, as you say, at least 2 more years. I just want to put a pin on the fact that for the 2nd year in a row, we have a balanced budget.
Yeah.
And this has been something that we have worked for and since I started sitting in the back of this room starting in 2011, coming to every city council meeting, this has been something we have been working towards. And hopefully, beyond this next fiscal year, we'll get to a third balanced budget and we'll keep moving. So this is it seems mundane, but this is a foundation, a solid financial foundation is what will allow us to do things in the future. So I want to thank all the department heads and all the employees for all of their work, because we couldn't do it without you. So great work.
Thank you, Commissioner. My closing remarks with departmental commentary is to thank everyone again for re-electing me and our commissioners. We do have an outstanding staff, outstanding commissioners, and I always want to give just tremendous credit to our department heads and our employees that are here. I am here just about every day, and I have an opportunity to interact with you, to know what's going on in the city, for you to keep me informed. But the educational, the institutional knowledge that I've gained over the last 4 years in working with you, and the success we've had as a city, we couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. And I can never say it enough to thank you, because I understand one thing: when you are on a team as we are, we're only as good, as strong as our weakest link, and we don't have one. I appreciate the communication. Ray Roberts points at me. Thank you, Ray. I love that. At least you didn't give me with the 1926 pipeline replacement. But it just means so much to me that we are making so much progress in the city. When I talk about progress, let me just talk about a couple of things. I won't be long. Sound like a preacher now. Won't be long now. But we made great strides. The balanced budget, and we have to celebrate our victories. We have to celebrate our wins. And sometimes we don't do it enough. Every day we come in here and we talk about issues that surround the city, we get beat up pretty much. And it takes a toll on us because we actually care what's happening here. If we didn't, we'd go along this process and it wouldn't impact us. But we care about our city. And that is so important. The first and most important thing is, I was talking to mayors in Canada. One of the mayors I was talking to was saying the first thing in civil service is caring. And I know every one of our commissioner cares, our department heads, thank you, our employees. We're here for our residents, and we just ask that there's some reciprocity in helping us. There's 25,000 citizens here. There are 120 city employees. We want you to engage in our community, not only with voting, but 30 minutes of activity in your neighborhood, whether it's cleaning up some of the debris that falls off during trash day, keeping our city beautified. That helps us a lot. We want to talk about the housing market. 4 years ago, 60% of our homes in the city were rental houses. We put in a rental inspection program about 8 years ago, and there are some landlords that didn't appreciate it. But now what's happened is now it's flipped. 60% of our homes here are owner occupied. That's huge. In a healthy community, 27 to 33% of the percentage of houses are rental houses. So we're getting there. If you have tried to buy a house here in Zion lately, you'll find that a house goes on the market, it is gone quickly because of the prices of the houses in Wisconsin. And about 5-6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, we saw that coming down the road. And now Zion is a place that people want to live, to work, and to play. Businesses. Our Director Roberts talked about the Popeyes that's coming in and development on the south end of town. We have people that are interested in moving next to Popeyes. We opened up a Starbucks, which people have been flocking to, which has been absolutely terrific. 5 years ago, before I became a mayor, the mayor here in Zion, Starbucks said, Zion is not ready for a Starbucks. But we kept pursuing. Administrator Nabel, myself, Sonalito Bronson, our Economic Development Director, and the last time we had contact with Starbucks was just during the pandemic, and we were in Chicago at a retail conference, and we stopped by and said, let's give them one more try. So sometimes these businesses come in, it takes 4 to 5 years before the opportunities mature, but we're moving forward with those two. Also, Real Wheels, right across from a company, moved their headquarters from Gurnee to Zion. There's been a vacant building on Kenosha Road and 173 for about 15 years. Huge building. A company moved their corporate headquarters to Zion from Gurnee. And that building, Dave, is how many square feet? 20,000 square feet?
Oh, it's a lot more than that. I don't know offhand, but
so
it's at least a couple 100,000.
So
with 50 full-time jobs into the area.
When that happens, it helps our economy. It helps our property taxes. We have another company that just purchased 41 acres out in Trumpet Park. We've been working with them for the last 3 years to get them to come to Zion, and they've wanted to be here. So we're making the progress that we need to make. From a safety standpoint, one of the things that I talked about when becoming mayor in the process, my first time, was we want to make sure that our streets, that our residents feel safe enough to walk down any street in Zion and feel comfortable. And we're making progress. We have 52 police officers now. The first time we've had a full staff in how many years, Chief?
I can't even remember.
Long time, yeah.
I don't know.
So we are, our city of Zion is an appealing place to work, and we've got great law enforcement officers that care about our community. We've also been implementing technology to help us to alleviate some of the issues in the area. Flock cameras, you might see them in different areas of town. They're license plate readers, and they have helped us to solve some very tough crimes that have happened here. And it's not just Zion. It's everywhere in Lake County. It's everywhere throughout the United States of America where the crime is taking place, and we're trying to use technology to be able to help our police officers, and they've done a tremendous job. So there's a lot of progress here. I am proud to be the mayor here. I grew up here. My family moved here in 1962. And to sit here, I was the youngest of 6 children, a mother from a single parent home. And to sit here and be the mayor, I can't tell you how proud I am of our city, the people that live in it, and what we're doing to improve it. And we've just got to continue. There's more of us that want to improve this city than those that want to detract from it. So we've got to continue to pull in that pool of people that want to help us continue to be the city that we want to be, and we cannot let people write our narrative of what our city is about. And we've done that for many years. We're starting to change that now. So thank you. Item number 9 is announcements. On May 16th at 6 o'clock, we have a Zion Township Board meeting. And at 7 o'clock following that, on May 16th, we have a Zion City Council meeting. It's hard to believe that we're talking about May already. And on May 29th, city offices are closed for Memorial Day. Any other announcements that we need to make about activities coming up here in May? All right. So as we move into item 10, the motion to adjourn, before we move to adjourn, please know that we have some snacks here for the people that have attended the meeting this evening. Please feel free to help yourself so that we don't have to take anything home and break our diets. So I don't understand, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved by Frierson. Second by Holmes. Madam Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes? Aye. Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank everyone for coming this evening, and help yourself to the snacks.